Now we want to create also that how it behaves when you give unexpected, like empty string. You can try that as well. But I'll just expect, how it behaves with now. So let's create again. This time, yes, create additional test. Through the exception, yes. So when I say exception test, so automatically put that expected exception. So in this case, let's name it as now. Right? And we put that automatically expected exception, okay? Now of course we don't need the assert not now. I have to supply now here, right? Okay. So there is the marker, so that means it is working. But if you actually want to run it, you just run it, it's still very clean. So everything is fine, right? As expected. But say I forgot and pass now here. I forgot to do this. Okay? Now the test is failing, right? Test should fail. And you go back to the code, and if you test put right here the marker, it says here value is null, right? So this line has null pointer exception. And right there you put a marker there. Okay? But because we have this expected, exception is expected, so in that case everything is fine. But usually it's not a good idea. It's not a clean code that you expect now and handle nothing. So you will probably write if value equal to null, then throw something. Throw illegal argument exception. Value cannot be null. So it is more descriptive, right? Yes. So even now if you see, if you now forget to do this here, you go back to the test, right there it put, value is null, so it is at that point it is throwing an exception. Okay, so I'll put it back. And now if I have the method, I want to jump to the JME test again, right? And jump to it. So I'll again say the shortcut, and it will detect all the tests, and you can choose whichever one you want. Okay? So this one is slightly red because that was a negative test. The null was a negative test, right? So it's kind of cool. So you select it, goes there like that. But the other plugin I have, the more unique plugin, also does that. It also has a jump to test. So jump to member under test, but it will just select whatever test. It has 3 tests it will only recognize, it will just, but in this fastcode plugin will detect, okay? But what fastcode plugin doesn't do, let's say I move the code to here. No, let's keep it here. But I change the name to reverse training A test. It's still a JUnit test. Now more you need to, will still jump. If you say jump, where did it go? Okay, this one. Oh. Jump to test. Oh, it didn't find. Interesting. But in this case, even if you use passport plugin, it will think it is not there. But if you are maintaining some standard naming convention, then it will find. Okay. Now, but how does it know? How does it know how to go to the test folder, and how does it know, what package to import and all that? So you go to configuration, and here there is a JUnit test preference. So basically, you can select your test type, and once you select that, it is all seamless. You don't, the pop-up is not coming up every time, right? You just highlight a method and create test. Okay. And there's some configuration, it's not big. And you want to test ng instead of JUnit, you can do test ng, it will go there. Okay? And how does it know? Go to the test folder. Because in the main preference page, you will see where did it go? Here, use some default path. As long as you have default path in your for source, SRC main Java, for test, SRC test Java, if you have that, and you have this checkbox on, automatically it will find that folder, put it there in the same package. So that's what most people have, right? Although if you have different, you just change it here, and you are good to go. Okay? So that's all about the more unit test and how fast plugin can help you, and how infinite test will help you. But the example I gave was very simple, right? It's 19th century, so it's really reverse string, how much would you really use this these days? So let's go to more advanced current technologies. So I'll mostly be demonstrating with Spring, write Spring beans and hook it up, create JUnit test and run it. I'll not create a whole new application, but let me check the camera time out. Okay, time's out. Oh, it's okay. Yeah. So Spring, they have the Spring tool suite, which has like bean visualization, bean autocomplete, and Spring Glue helps with code generation. So on the other hand, you have fast code plugin who also do code generation. It's a little different. So you're familiar with Spring, Usually Spring, you have a coding to interface. You code to interface, right? You have an interface and implementation, right? So whenever your clients are calling you, they will call it to the interface, but your code will be in the implementation. So what you will have for every foo service, you have a foo service info, and the classes have some typical header, right? Some code body in the class, maybe some constructor, some imports, and some dependency, right? Foo service will depend on some DAO, okay? And maybe it has a base class and implement some interfaces, which like initializing bean, and some annotations or XML configuration, and finally unit test. You need to have all this, right? Typically. So let's see if fast code can do this. Okay, so for that, if you go there, create new service class. Okay? It does all those things, but right now let's just create concentrate on service. Okay? So basically, I'll maybe product, right? Everyone makes product, so let's have product service. Okay? Now it is asking the package, which package you want to do. So just put the compressed service package. Again, first time is a little slow. So created now asking if you have to include some DAO. Like product service will probably call product DAO. I don't have that. But it might call some other, right? Some other item DAO, maybe the house DAO, where the factory DAO, where the factory is located, etc. But I mean, just to show, just let's put the house DAO there. And let's do constructor, So boom, it will generate service is the annotation for service, right? Okay, and puts a typical logger you have typically, right? And you can import the log4j-logger. And these are the annotation it will put automatically. See all this code, it will put product service. And product service simple, and it created product service as well, and automatically implementing products, right? Sounds good, right? Again, how does it know how to create all these things? Again, you have to go to preferences, and here you have to you do this only one time. So see service preference, create new service preference, and here you can say the project name. This is kind of big, and this is the code in the class. So this is where we got the code from. Okay, you can put any arbitrary code. There is some code snippet you want to always put, you can put it there. Make sense? And this is the implement interface. You have to always implement maybe. So you have to add more, you can go to new and choose other interface to put. So that's how you configure, So you have to create default constructor, you have to create instant constructor or not, and create additional field of type DAO. So for here. Similarly, the class annotations, it is putting the service because I put it there, it's not hardcoded, it's configured. So you can remove it, you can just simply remove it. So you do not put it. Okay? Make sense? Then simply for the fields, I put auto wired, okay, and all those things. Similarly, it can generate XML configuration also. This is right. This is annotations that is more popular. And see automatically